Have you ever poured everything into improving a process only to find it still, well, kind of unpredictable? Today we're going to dig into exactly why that happens. Here's the thing, making a real lasting improvement isn't just about shuffling the steps around. We've got to understand what our numbers are actually trying to tell us.
So let's kick things off with a problem that I'm betting we've all run into. And it all boils down to one simple little number that we use all the time, the average.
Okay, think about this for a second. You're meeting friends for dinner. You look it up, and the average drive is 25 minutes. So you leave exactly 25 minutes ahead of time, right on the dot. And yet, somehow you're still either a bit early or, let's be honest, probably a little late. What is going on?
Well, it turns out our gut feeling is spot on. The crazy thing about the average is that it's often the one number you are least likely to actually hit. Your drive might be 22 minutes one day, 30 the next, but it might never, ever be exactly 25 minutes. Relying just on the average is a surefire way to mess things up.
And look, this isn't just about being late for dinner, right? This exact same problem plays out on a massive scale in the business world. A ton of companies run on something called the push system. They build everything based on forecasts. But what's a forecast, really? It's just a fancy word for an average guess about the future, and we just saw how shaky that can be.
Okay, so if pushing work based on a guess, a shaky average, is the problem, what's the solution? Well, it's a total shift in mindset. We're talking about moving from push to pull. Let's dive into what that actually means.
So, in a classic push system, imagine a factory. They guess how many widgets they'll sell next month, and they just start making them. They push all that work down the line, whether the next station is ready for it or not. And what happens? You guessed it. Piles of work, bottlenecks, just a ton of waste.
Now, a pull system, it completely flips the script. Nothing gets started until the next step in the line says, hey, I'm ready, send it over. This is the core idea behind just-in-time. You're not just pushing stuff out there and hoping it works out, you're pulling it through the system only when it's needed. So much smarter. So let's put them side by side. Push is all about guessing, reacting to a forecast. Pull, it's about reality. It responds to actual demand. The result? Push systems get clogged up. Pull systems, they just flow. It is no exaggeration, a total game changer.
All right, so this pull idea sounds amazing, right? But how do you actually do it, like in the real world? The key? It's deceptively simple. You have to make the work visible.
See, a pull system isn't just some high-level concept. It's a real tool, and it's called Kanban. It's a Japanese word that literally means visual sign or card. It's all about seeing your work, seeing the flow, and making sure that you only pull in new stuff when you actually have room for it. And you want to hear a perfect low-tech example? The two-bin system in a hospital. Imagine a shelf with two bins of, say, bandages. When the first bin runs out, that empty bin is the visual signal. That's the Kanban that says, hey, order more. While you wait, you just use the bandages from the second bin. It's so simple, but it's brilliant. You never run out, and you're never drowning in extra supplies.
Now, you might have heard of value stream maps, and they're useful, but they're not the same thing. Think of a VSM as a photo, a static snapshot you use for planning. Kanban, on the other hand, is like a live video feed. It's a living, breathing system. And that's its superpower, right? You see problems as they happen and can deal with them right away.
Okay, so we've got our pull system, we're using Kanban, the workflow feels way smoother, we can pack it up and go home, right? Job done? Well, not so fast, because this is where things get really interesting.
Yeah, your process is flowing, and that's great. But can you actually predict anything? Can you look a customer in the eye and tell them with confidence when their project will be finished? See, just because something feels better doesn't mean you're actually in control. And here's the secret. To get to that next level, to be truly predictable, you have to look past the flow. You have to start measuring the variation in your process. That's the real key. It's what takes you from being kind of efficient to being rock-solid reliable.
And don't worry, the math isn't scary. There are two really simple stats that help us out here. First, there's the range. Super easy. It's just your highest number minus your lowest. It gives you a quick snapshot of the spread. But the real powerhouse here is standard deviation. That's the one that tells you how consistent you are.
Here's the easiest way to think about it. A big standard deviation, that's like throwing darts all over the wall. Your results are unpredictable, they're erratic. A small standard deviation, that's a tight grouping of darts right around the bullseye.
It means your process is stable, consistent, and you know what to expect.
I know. Standard deviation sounds like something from a stats textbook. But get this, there's an awesome little shortcut to estimate it, called the range rule of thumb. All you do is take the range of your data, let's say your call wait times vary by 12 minutes from longest to shortest, and you just divide it by 6. Boom! Your standard deviation is about 2 minutes. How cool is that? A super powerful insight from dead simple math.
So, this is where it all comes together. This is the grand finale. We have to take these two huge ideas, managing the flow and controlling the variation, and smash them together.
Now, one last crucial detail. When we talk about variation, there are actually two flavors. First, there's common cause variation. Think of this as the normal background noise of your system. It's just part of the process. Then there's special cause variation. This is the stuff that comes out of nowhere. A machine breaks, someone calls in sick. Your job is to hunt down and eliminate those special causes first. Once the system is stable, then you can work on shrinking that normal background noise.
So what's the big takeaway here? What's the secret sauce for elite process management? It's not one thing or the other. It's two things working together. You absolutely need a pull system like Kanban to manage your flow. And you need the statistical tools to measure and control your variation. If you only have one, you're flying half blind.
And that's what I want to leave you with. Think about it. Your daily commute, that project at work, even making your coffee in the morning. What process in your life is running on an average that's totally lying to you? Because I promise you, once you start looking for the variation instead of the average, you'll start seeing it everywhere. And that's the first real step to finally being in control.